Welcome to Da Nang. In this video we will check out what a Canadian has to say about raising a family in Vietnam, especially in Da Nang. What is his cost of living and what is he paying for his house? All in this interview right now.
Welcome, Evan. I'm gonna ask you some questions my audience wanna know. So, where are you from first?
I grew up in Toronto in Canada, born and raised Canadian.
Okay, since when are you in Vietnam?
I moved to Vietnam just before the pandemic in summer of 2019. So I got hired to work a full-time job. So I came here immediately as a working professional or as an expat in Ho Chi Minh City.
Oh, okay. And since when did you move to Da Nang? I think last year, right?
Da Nang, I just came recently, just this summer. So it's just a few months ago I moved to this city.
But you did first Hoi An, right? How many months in Hoi An?
Yeah, so I spent the summer at a vacation or sort of like beach home property with my family in Hoi An. We rented it for 90 days and then we moved here to Da Nang to do a year-long, like a full, proper lease on a house.
Okay. So how much do you pay for the house now?
So the house here is 13 million, which is a little over 500 USD, like 550 USD.
For a house?
Yeah, so it's a 3-story house. It's a proper full family home. It's not in An Tung, like where most of the expats and hotels are, like where I assume you live and most people live. It's a bit farther up the coast in Son Cha, but it is still in Da Nang City and on the ocean side of the river, so in the touristy part of town.
How far is it to the ocean?
Maybe 1 kilometer. It's about 10 to 15 minute walk, or when I go for a jog, I'm at the beach in 5 minutes, and on my bicycle, I'm at the beach in 2 minutes.
Wow, and $500?
Yeah, almost
13 million, so it's like 550 US dollar.
That's right. So I was just saying, the landlord has a weird rental structure that I'm not really into. We had to pay 3 months up front in addition to a deposit, and then not pay for 3 months and now pay another 3 months. So we basically have these a 4-payment block on a 12-month lease, but each time we pay it's about 39 million, which is
so 39 million per 3 months.
Yeah, per quarter. Exactly.
Okay, I mean that's fine too. And how did you find that place?
Connected with real estate agents on the Facebook group, some in the expats, but basically I put up a post sort of outlining roughly what it was I was looking for, and then just got bombarded by different real estate agents. The real estate agents here don't get paid very well. It's all commission based. Different agents offering you the same property with sort of different deals or prices, because essentially they can be offering you a better deal based on their own commission rate or whatever they've worked out with the agent.
How long did it take you to get it?
Way too long.
Okay.
Yeah, so to find what we were looking for, because we did have pretty specific needs, I flew up here 3 times in spring, I think, like just coming up from Ho Chi Minh City on the weekend. So 3 times I came up and had like full, spent the entire day with a real estate agent driving around in a car, on a motorbike, looking at multiple places. There were a lot of houses to look at because most people aren't looking for sort of full homes, but the issue is they do rent very fast. So if we didn't make a decision on something within like the first, 24 to 48 hours, it was usually gone. And because one property will be shown by multiple agents, the agent who showed it to you can have it rented out from under them by a different agent with a different person. So it is super competitive. And I would definitely suggest if you see what you want, put the money down, get it, 'cause it'll be gone.
Interesting. And so also you cannot really plan ahead, right?
Yeah, I was trying to plan ahead because that's sort of my whatever, it's in my nature. I was trying to rent a house for a year in advance, and I really couldn't find that. I even thought about doing that as a service or starting a business, but I don't know that there'd be enough commission money in it, but it's very hard to find a proper rental property before you arrive. The only thing there are the vacation villas at resorts, So, and those tend to be very expensive, and they're not in real neighborhoods, right? They're not in the city. You're talking about like
Yeah.
Ocean Villa Estates, the Marriott villas out
But they're
by
also
Miami.
completely different price, right?
Yeah, they're
How,
totally different price range.
how much is it there? Did you ask?
30 to 40 million a month. So you're looking at
Okay.
two to three times what you pay
But
for
like
us.
it's like $1,200 still. Is, you know,
Still very
luxury.
affordable.
Yeah. Okay.
But those places too.
when Canada are you from?
I'm from Toronto.
Toronto. Okay.
Yeah.
How much is this house? What you have now in Toronto?
So before I left Toronto 5 years ago, and from what I understand, it's much higher now. I'm gonna do a why I left Canada video. I
hey,
have to.
all my Canadians, comment below how the rental market right now is in your city.
I've heard it's insane, but before I left
Yeah.
5 years ago, I had a 2-story upper unit on a house, which is pretty desirable. So it was a house that was cut into 2 units, but we had 2 stories, and it was sort of 3 bedrooms or 2.5 bedrooms, and it was $3,200 a month.
$3,200 Canadian.
Yeah, so more than $100 per day, and this is 5 years ago, pre-COVID, and and I did second income. We would rent out one of our bedrooms to like
Yeah.
a college student or something.
Okay. So when you came to Vietnam, what did you do? Did you work here, or how did it go?
Yeah, so I'm like a licensed teacher, and I've taught in a lot of different countries. Taught in Australia, China, Mexico, and at home in Canada. So when I came here, I'd already signed a contract and had a deal to work for 2 years at an international school in Ho Chi Minh City. Like proper, like I went to the airport, somebody had my name on a sign, I had my visa paperwork done and arranged for me, which was great in some ways. But the flip side of it was that at that time, my work owned my visa. So if I had like quit my job or had some sort of labor dispute, they would have revoked my visa and sent me home.
But how did you come up with Vietnam after so many countries?
I was actually planning on going back to work in China, and then, oh, sorry to knock the camera, but thank God I didn't, because it was 6 months before COVID hit.
Oh wow, that was good.
Right?
Yeah.
I ended up coming to Vietnam because the employer, so there are other Canadians working at this school, and someone I knew, an administrator from back home, made me, a kind of an offer I couldn't refuse sort of thing. But it was mostly lifestyle related. The choice to come to Vietnam over China was lifestyle and cost of living related, and less about sort of the level of pay or the quality of the job itself. It was about cost of living and lifestyle in Vietnam versus mainland China.
And how long in did you meet your wife?
Yeah, I met my wife on Bumble about 1.5 years after coming here.
How long are you together with your wife now?
4 years and a bit.
4 years, and how long married?
We got married during COVID, so
Oh wow, how was that? Was it difficult
3
to
years.
marry between Canada and?
well, we're not legally married in Canada. We're only married in Vietnam.
Okay.
It's very difficult to get any sort of Vietnamese visas or anything for Canada at the moment because Canada's visa and immigration system is backlogged from COVID. Also, look out for the Why I Left Canada video coming soon because that will be included.
Okay.
So my kids are considered Canadian citizens at birth, but I have to apply to get that like recognized in paperwork. And the first child, it took over a year, and the second child, we're still waiting on the paperwork from last May. So,
But your child's gonna have Canadian passport.
yeah. So I mean, once they have citizenship, they're eligible to get a Canadian passport. Yeah.
Okay. You as a family, Canadian Vietnamese family, how much do you spend a month in?
I've made that video. Spoiler, not the $500 in the thumbnail. We spend between 2,200 and 3,000 USD
22 to 20.
to 3,000. So between, roughly 60 to 75 million dong.
Well, a lot of people ask me, is education or like with children? You are in this industry, education industry. You've been there. How much does it cost to put your children into school here?
So there's sort of like a tiered system. There's Vietnamese public schools. There's sort of private-owned Vietnamese schools or daycares, which is like what my child's in now because they're very young. And then there's bilingual schools or bilingual international schools, which use the local curriculum as well as an international curriculum. And then there's international schools, which are literally just using a foreign curriculum, like an international baccalaureate or something along those lines, or like a British A-levels. And there isn't really a cap on how much schools can charge here. And what that means is that some of the schools in Ho Chi Minh are charging more than in places like Hong Kong and Singapore, which is insane. But there's schools here that charge $30,000 a year per student.
A year. So
Yeah.
let's say something like a 7-year-old child. You put him into a medium kind of school. How much does it cost per month?
I think, yeah, realistically, if you're putting your kid in a bilingual school, you're looking at probably 500 USD or more a month.
A month.
Yeah. That's a pretty affordable sort of mid-tier one. Even like Vietnamese daycare costs $200 or $300 US a month.
Oh God.
The single guys are freaking out here. They have no idea.
Like, oh my God, how much?
Be prepared. Every child, and if you have multiple children, each child is going to be the biggest cost in your budget.
Really?
By far. Oh, no, it's not even close. It's not even close. Each of our kids, each one costs more than rent. Rent's a distant second place.
Okay. I mean, maybe it's because in Germany it's free education, but
Right.
Okay. All right. Okay, that's crazy. One big question I get all the time is what kind of activities you have here in Da Nang with children. So Evan, you are a father. Please answer. What do you do with your children here?
Right. So the ideal situation is when the weather is good, you take them to the beach, and it's beautiful and it's fun, and they play in the sand, and it's free, and that's great. The traffic is less bad in Da Nang than in most places, so there's some pedestrian or walkability. It's low, but it's significantly better than in Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh. So you can go for walks, go to local playgrounds, etc., that kind of thing. And then there's also the kids cafes, and so these are like places with usually pretty crummy food, crummy international food, mediocre coffee, and then they charge an hourly rate, and your kids play indoors at the slides and ball pits and that sort of recreation kid toy stuff, and they usually cost maybe in the $6 to $10 an hour range, which probably sounds pretty affordable to you, but is actually a intense rip-off here. That's a large amount of money, right? You're talking about an hour per kid to play, and you're getting charged what it costs to have a full Western meal, right?
Or breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Or breakfast, lunch, more than any local store. So these are places that are tailored to upper middle class people and expats. And yeah, there's a couple of them here. There's more of them in Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh. And then the other big thing is to go to the resorts, sort of go to Banna Hills, or to go to the Japanese one. I forget what it's called. It starts with
Mikazuki.
Mikazuki, yeah. So
it's a
Mikazuki.
water park in the North Beach.
Yeah, we've taken the kids there.
It's like 300 something, right?
It was
per day.
Oh, per K? No, I think in dollars. We spent about
Our kids are cheaper.
$200 US for a full we went there on Saturday morning, checked into the hotel.
Oh, you slept there?
Yeah, we had a room
Oh,
for the full weekend
Got
of
it.
your food, your drink, your sleepover and stuff. I don't know what the cost of just entering the water park is, but yeah, we spent a weekend at that resort as a day trip.
It's 300,000, so $12 for the entrance to the water park.
Yeah.
And there's onsen as well in there.
Yeah, and it was close enough that you could just go for a day trip, right? It was just maybe 15 minutes in a grab in a taxi.
In a motorbike, yes. On the car, it's maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes, depends.
Yeah, from where we were in Sun Chao, it wasn't bad.
Yes. From here, yeah.
Banna Hills, going up, same thing. I mean, the thing is when you have kids, it's so much easier to spend the night there, right? It's a pain in the ass to go to either of these places and then come back the same day, which is why you end up just getting a hotel room, because then the kids crash at 5 or 6 p.m. You just put them back in the hotel room, whatever get room service to go to the thing. Banana Hills is pretty fun. That's like the Disney billion-dollar theme park outside of the city on a hill. It's gorgeous. It looks like some weird cross between Jurassic Park and Alice in Wonderland. I don't know. It's odd but fun.
Is it a fake French park?
Yeah, there's like fake French architecture. There's a little Germantown for you guys. There's a Bavarian themed bar. It was fun. We had a good time. It's these things are what they are, right? They're made for tourist experiences that are more affordable than they would be in another country, but are more expensive than local things.
Okay.
Same thing. I would guess that in $100 to $200. Just go and spend the night there, have dinner, do all that kind of stuff.
Okay, Evan. Since you told me crazy things about the school system here, is it worth moving here to Vietnam as a family?
I would probably not, to be honest. So I'm married to a Vietnamese woman, so it's a different situation than two expats or two internationals coming to Vietnam. I think there's a small community of expats in Hanoi, and if you have work or something, a reason that would send you to Hanoi, I could understand raising your family and kids in Hanoi. Some of the schools that are there. The United Nations has an incredible school, UNIS, in Hanoi, which would be, with a community of expats around it. In Da Nang, I think you could come here with really little kids or babies like I have, and as long as you're working online and doing a digital, some sort of non-remote job, it's pretty feasible. But I don't see now current infrastructure and setup how you would just live here as an expat or international couple with kids long term. I'm really long term. 10 years, 20 years. It's very difficult to buy a house. Very difficult to find an appropriate school. There's not a real permanent community of other international English language speaking children. Again, totally different, an exception if you marry a local Vietnamese person. But my honest opinion, if you're like a Canadian couple or a German couple thinking about coming here, come here for the winter. Come here for 3 months, spend 3 months or a holiday here. But compared to somewhere like Bangkok or Singapore, there's just not the international community or infrastructure here to raise a family. Yeah, it's not there yet, is what I would say. Yeah. If you're trying to start your own business, you're single, you're working online, you're working remote, the cost of living for one person, like what I say in my video, I think if you're one person and you're realistic and you're just focused on work and not on partying, not on going out, you can realistically live here for like $500 US a month. And that means if you can have a $6,000 a year or like a $6,000 to $10,000 a year startup or side hustle, which is nothing. I mean, if you can't make that much money with a business online, your idea sucks and you need to change it. And if you are making that much, you can buy yourself 2 or 3 years of run out time here. I mean, I guess you do the 90-day visa run thing, but for that scenario, or if you're spending 3-month chunks in Da Nang, like you spend 3 months here, then the season changes and you go 3 months in Bali and then 3 months in Bangkok and then back, and that kind of like cycling around Southeast Asia, it's amazing.
Okay.
It's perfect.
Hey, thank you so much, Evan. I'm gonna put his link down below in the description. Also, please comment below what I should ask the next time in the next interview. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next time.